Welcome back to another art tutorial with Mr. White. Today, we're going to be making a 9-step value scale. Now, I don't happen to have a ruler on hand, so I'm using a pencil as a straight edge, but a ruler would work just fine. We're going to start by making a rectangle that goes across our page, and ideally it'll be about 1 inch tall. Don't stress yourself over this. Doesn't have to be perfectly even boxes, but our goal is to make 9 individual boxes by placing 8 lines that divide the space. And I'm going to number those just to make sure I don't lose track of where I'm at. So I've got 6 boxes, 7, 8, and 9. Now in this value scale, just like the one we made before, we're going to be starting with paper white, and we're going to go down to the darkest dark we can make, which isn't truly a black because a pencil doesn't come in black, but it's pretty darn close. Now for this one, I like to start with my darkest value. And in this box, I'm going to fill the entire box with even, consistent, heavy pressure, pushing firmly with a big, flat part of my pencil. If you ever get to a spot where some of the wood of the pencil is extending past your lead, that can cause scratchy lines, so make sure to sharpen your pencil or scratch that off. I recommend using 2 layers, both with very heavy pressure, and they go perpendicular directions, as you see here. Then we're going to fill in the rest of our values, trying to start a very wide surface on our pencil lead and coloring as lightly as possible, applying no pressure at all, just letting gravity do the work. We're going to make sure to keep our marks consistent and slightly overlapping. And then we've got our second box done. We're going to make the third box, try to match that. Then we'll darken it with another layer on top. Keep in mind, the second layer is going to be colored in a different direction. So I was going across the box for the first layer. I went up and down for the second. And as we go across this value scale, we're just going to match each box to the one that came before it, and then put another number 2 level value right on top, making sure we use alternating directional marks. And if you take your time and don't push hard, if you have good control with your hand, you're going to find it pretty easy to make 9 different values in between your paper white and your darkest dark. What's nice about making a value scale in this style is we end up making each value at least once on its own when we fill the next box in, but we're also working slowly and diligently to make sure that we're able to get all the steps in the right order. So take your time using those light pressure, getting firmer and firmer as we progress. If you ever find that you're not having enough pencil lead, just take a moment, sharpen it up the pencil like I just did. Now you may notice that I'm not being super careful about keeping each or all of the value entirely within the box. I'm going to go in at the end and erase a little bit to clean up the top and bottom edge. And since I'm shading sequentially, it doesn't really matter if I put a little bit of extra darkness on the box to my right. And the box that I'm working in, I end up defining the edge of when I move on to the next step. Here I'm just double checking, making sure that those two are about the same, other than that middle line, which was a little bit too dark for my taste, if that's okay. Once you've got all of your values in and you have a noticeable step between each box, you're going to I recommend taking a moment with an eraser, cleaning up the edge and relabeling those different values. Having the numbers labeled is going to help us later on. Nice job. See you next time.